Hello there, everyone. Now that we have a macro understanding of education, I'm going to go over the main ID techniques and theories specifically. The instructional design process doesn't stray too far away from the PDCA cycle if you are familiar with it, but it must be adapted to our context. The steps we follow are to analyze, to plan, to develop, to implement, and to evaluate. From this basic premise, you with some conceptual models that emphasize on some parts or another, break a process or to erase another process have emerged. If you notice, my description of what an instructional designer does follows this model well. First of all, I just need to explain some concepts. I will briefly explain the concept of educational goals. There is no planning and content creation without you defining well what you want your students to learn. Briefly, an educational objective is a statement that states what is expected of that material. It can be focused on the students if you want to convince them to consume the content, or the institution if it's something more internal. In order to standardize educational objectives so that they are not vague and can be checked, taxonomies were created. There are several different types, but the most famous one is the Bloom's taxonomy, which I have already explained. Now that we have a goal, how do we deliver a content to facilitate learning? For this, we have Gagné's taxonomy. Essentially, Robert Gagné paired educational goals with instructional practices that enable the goals to be achieved. Now that you know what you want to teach and how, it's time to think on what to teach. For this, we will enter the topic of creating the content itself. The content that I recommend you start is activity mapping, in which you describe what will be taught based on your goals. I know quite a lot. I couldn't be different. We are talking about an area that has existed for decades. I can't cover everything in detail here, but the important thing here is that I want you to leave this course knowing is the logical sequence of steps. Now, encompassing all these sequences of steps, we start talking about content planning models. For this, we have Eddie model, Dick and Carey model, Sam model, Kathy Murray mapping, and agile prototyping. In essence, all planning models follow the basic PDCA management cycle, but each emphasizes on one aspect or another. The best known model is the Eddie model. More and more we have simple applications that bring instructional design closer to agile thinking. If you search for books on the subject, you see that the very foundation is old, and there are some attempts by innovation in design thinking enthusiasts to bring new ideas to the area, myself included. There is no best theory. Each one will address different needs. If you want a more traditional, robust, and complete model, I will recommend the Eddie model. For a more succinct and practical approach focused on one-off actions, the SAM model is incredible. As for low commitments, fast and low cost implementation, agile prototyping will deliver to you small doses of quick content. Cool? I think I managed to go over the theories a little bit. To recap, an educational objective is a phrase that defines what your student will be able to do after consuming your content. There is no maximum number of objectives, but probably if you get to 5 objectives, maybe you can consider breaking the content into smaller units. Gagné's taxonomy complements Bloom's taxonomy, pairing the verbs of education objectives with types of content to be delivered. Within instructional design, there are models that compartmentalize the planning stages until the final feedback. The best known is Eddie model. In the next lesson, we will learn about the positions within the field that an instructional design professional can occupy. On the next screen, I will propose a small exercise for you to fix a little bit what I have tried to teach here. Cool?